What if
Yes.
Brock Lesnar disrupts everything in Saudi Arabia at the Night of Champions, and he winds up somehow with that belt?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wrestling Time Machine. I'm Mac Davis, along with my two co-hosts, WWE Hall of Famer, Holla Holla, Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Holla, player.
And with him, of course, always, every single week, he is a pro wrestling journalist. He's a legendary pro wrestling journalist, Mr. Bill Apter. Hey, Bill.
Well, and like you always say, legendary, like Lou Albano used to say, I'm a legend in my own mind, brother.
Guys, I want to go straight into Backlash from this past weekend. I want to talk about some of the surprise appearances that we saw, mainly Savio Vega and Carlito, which I thought was an incredible thing to do for that particular show. Bill, your thoughts?
Oh, this whole show was great. Regarding Savio Vega and Carlito, I know that Savio had talked to Damian Priest. He and Damian are very close, and to Bad Bunny, and they both wanted him. Here. I don't have all the details on Carlito, but it was just natural that he would have been there. What I got a kick out of in this show was because it was in Puerto Rico, and it was totally the fans were completely into this thing. But when somebody had someone pinned, and usually the fans will go 1, 2, but they're yelling uno, dos. Yeah. Oh, it was absolutely great. But the first match with Bianca Belair and Io Sky was a match that actually looked like a shoot. It was that damn good. And both those girls put on an amazing, absolutely amazing match.
Yeah, well, go ahead, Teddy. I'm sorry.
And the thing I wanted to say about that too, like I said, that when I had that chance to visit Raw and SmackDown, and I had a chance to look at that young talent there, like Bianca Belair and the girl she worked with there, man, and I could see doing rehearsals and different things that these two girls, not just them, just that whole young entire generation of talent that's coming up in the WWE now. These kids want it, man. They're hungry and they're willing to do the right thing, and they got great attitudes, man. And that's what really means a lot, to have a good attitude. And to watch those two girls get to work out there in that ring, then you could tell, it was strictly business. We're going to give these people 100%. This is what they paid to see, and we're going to make sure they get their money's worth.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it was almost like I said, it was almost like a real fight. There was some spots in there that I was like, my God, I don't know what's going on here, because these girls,
there was a particular
face.
There was a face plant that Io Sky took that really scared the hell out of me when I saw that happen, because the camera angle originally made it look like she went head first into the mat.
Well, that's how it should be, because, women are now beginning to get that opportunity, that they've been, struggling for so long. And so they're in there now. And so these women are going to prove to the wrestling fans and to themselves that they belong there, and they're going to do whatever it takes to stay there.
I want to be honest with you, too. That match in particular, on paper, when I first saw it, and Teddy will pop back in a second. He usually pops out and comes back. There he is. But the one thing that on paper, the match did not excite me. And in fact, I thought, well, I know exactly how this match is going to go. It's just going to be an open match. Okay, fine. It turned out it started a little wonky at first. But right after it got started, man, it built and built. And honestly, my opinion, the best match of the night, hands down.
That's what you do. That's what you do in professional wrestling. You create a story. You start from the bottom and work your way to the top. It's just that simple, man. But a lot of people, they don't get it. And these two girls, they got it. They getting it.
And I didn't want, I said to myself as I was watching this thing, who's going to be able to follow that match?
And then every single match did follow. That was the great thing about this pay-per-view. Yeah. The pay-per-view, to me, honestly, I was more invested in this pay-per-view than WrestleMania. It was that exciting and that fresh feeling.
Well, that match that had to follow them, when they were watching it, they already knew, hey, man, we're going to have to step it up. Okay?
Keep in mind,
look exactly what they're doing, man. We going to have... they might even have to change some stuff. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
Well, I think that Bianca and Io Sky, they had to change on the fly a little bit because Bianca was being booed. She wasn't the fan favorite, which is kind of odd, but they took control of the crowd and they handled it the way they should have. It was a perfectly done match. I don't know if they planned on that to be the case, but, the switching of roles real quick in the ring, listening to the fans, made that match.
Those fans were made part of that show. When you have a crowd like that and you get in the ring, your energy, your mental and your physical state are raised up so high that you're performing at the highest level you can perform at. I talked to Wendy Richter at the 80s wrestling convention, and I asked her what she thought about today's women wrestlers, and she said they're amazing. There's some of them that are just as good as the men, and that's the way it should be.
I agree. And that's the way women's wrestling always should have been. It should always have been, these women are going at it just as hard as the guys are. And I like seeing that because it tells me there's no fear and they're there to compete and not just show, hey, look at me, I'm a pretty thing. That kind of just doesn't work for me.
Well, that's what I said from the beginning. They're making a statement and they're letting the people know, hey, we're here to stay.
Let's talk about that crowd. As you mentioned, Bill, the crowd was hot all night long. But
that guy in the seventh row. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But the one thing that did, even though the crowd was super hot, it got super emotional as well with Zelina Vega when she hit the ring. What an incredible moment for her.
The tears that she shed when she got in the ring in front of a hometown crowd. And then when she, everyone thought that maybe in Puerto Rico they would just give her the victory and maybe change it back the next night, but they didn't. And the heartbreak and the tears with her family there were 100% genuine. And I haven't seen a reaction like that, a real honest reaction like that in the ring in a long time.
Teddy, let me ask you, Zelina. Yeah, and let me ask you, when I saw her get in the ring and the emotions were taking over, I mean, to the point she wasn't just crying, she was shaking. I mean, the emotion was very real. Does that sometimes, can it mess with their heads in the ring where they forget what they got to do?
No, I don't think so. I think when that happens, that makes you even better. You know what I mean? Because now you've got that emotion, you're feeling it now. It's become real to you. So now you have to really prove yourself. So I think with that right there, it makes it even better.
Bill, was there anything else?
It's not working at that point. It's real at that point.
Yes, exactly. And that's when people believe when it's real.
And even if the match would have stunk, and it didn't, but if the match had stunk, that emotional part of the night, those fans won't forget, nor will Zelina, because that moment almost overshadowed the match itself.
Well, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost. It did overshadow the match. Good thing they had that. That's a great backup.
Yep.
Oh, it was fabulous. Mac, they probably showered after the match.
Hey, no, wait a minute. Let's talk about the main event of Backlash. Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes. Ouch. Man, that was a crazy match. Bill, what were your thoughts on that match?
The ending surprised a lot of people where Brock had him already to submit and Cody rolled over. A lot of fans, though, said to me that from a different camera angle that Brock's shoulder, one of his shoulders wasn't down. I didn't see that particular angle, but this is the first time we've seen blood in a long time in the WWE. And I'm going to say something that I think to both you and Teddy that I hope this makes sense. But Puerto Rico always had that history of Carlos Colon, Abdullah the Butcher, bloody matches. And this was almost paying homage to those kind of matches. But it surprised me that Cody came up with the victory because everybody said that, Brock can't lose. And just to take it a step further, on Monday Night Raw, Brock has now caused Cody to be eliminated in the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. And what he did to Cody on Monday Night Raw this week was terrifying. If you're a wrestling fan and you're really into it, especially younger fans, what Brock did was terrifying. I want to fight.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make it real simple for you guys. If you remember last week, the last thing I told you guys when you asked me about Cody, getting set up for Roman Reigns, the last thing I told you, I said the only way Cody's gonna get any credibility, he has to slip over on Brock. Those were the words I told you.
Yep.
That happened. But now I'd like it even better now because now, and Brock is a guy just like Chris Jericho. You could beat him, don't mean nothing. He knows how to get his heat back. And he showed you that this past Monday night on Raw, how to get his heat back. But now it's really more interesting now because now the realness of it is Cody shouldn't even worry about Roman Reigns and that title. I'd make it personal now. You know what I mean? Yep. Yeah. Now you want to go after Brock because he's really defamed you, embarrassed you. So that title, you'd want it, but it really doesn't mean anything now. What means something now is for you to get another victory over Brock Lesnar. And I don't know whether that's going to happen, but they're certainly headed in the right direction with those.
What if Brock Lesnar disrupts everything in Saudi Arabia at the Night of Champions and he winds up somehow with that belt?
We're going to talk about that in a little bit, so let's not go there quite yet.
Well, like I said, that's a possibility, and I like that, Bill. That's really good. Now you really got Cody for somebody to chase Brock instead of Roman.
And it brings up a lot of problems at the same time. And I'm going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But real quick, let's finish talking about Monday Night Raw real fast, about some of the things that did take place. Of course, Brock Lesnar beating down Cody. I thought it was a great thing because you didn't see that coming, really, any more than you saw Brock, turning on Cody. I didn't see that feud extending anymore. I thought it was over with. So bringing Brock back in was a great surprise. It actually shocked me a little bit. It's like, whoa.
Well, you got to see that. You can't expect a guy to slip over on Brock and Brock not come back. Back.
And he came back pissed too, man. Man, he was mad.
The only way Brock wouldn't come back is Brock was leaving the territory, and he just would put Cody over and leave him strong.
Yep. Now I'm hearing, Bill. Have you heard any rumors to this that we're getting close to the Brock's final run?
No, I have not heard that.
You have not heard that. Okay.
I think Brock is in this for the long run when he wants to work. If they need him, since he's not going to be there for like 6 months, or if he's not on tour doing these spot shows or anything, I think he's having a great time doing this stuff.
Well, he's not full time,
right?
You know what I mean? He's he's whenever you need me, pick up the phone.
Yep. And that's the way I like the superstars.
And he's money.
Actually,
he's money.
Yeah,
right.
But at the same time, you're not overexposed. And that way you are something special when you do show up. And that's something that the territories did really well in the old days that I like to see kind of brought into today's wrestling. If you got somebody hot like Roman Reigns, let him run a story pretty hot for a while, take him off the air for a while, bring him back in when he's fresh again. Keep him fresh and the surprise so that fans are always excited to see him when they show up.
Did you notice how almost cocky Cody was on Monday Night Raw? So, this is it. I beat Brock Lesnar. Okay. And little did anyone know that Brock Lesnar was going to come in and kick Cody's butt.
That's exactly how it's supposed to be. That's shades of the Attitude Era. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Right. And I'm telling you, I'm enjoying the shows now.
Oh, yes.
Everything means something now. They're telling a story.
Well, you have to wait for the unexpected. And last night, or the other night on Raw.
Everything in wrestling is unpredictable anyway.
Well, it better be. I mean, otherwise it's no fun to watch.
Right.